Last week we covered new free vocal effects, but this time let's cover 15 free and new mixing plugins in 2024. Now I put these in no particular order since I think they're all great, but I do have my personal favorite later in the video, so stick around for that if you want. Now real quick, we have a new membership. New members get 10 free mastered songs, so your next release can sound as good as possible. You also get unlimited feedback on your mixes, both from us and our community members, to get a lot of helpful perspectives quickly, and you get in-depth educational courses to learn both the fundamentals and the nuances of audio engineering. More on that at the end of the video. So, plugins 1 from 8 are from VenAudio's free bundle. For a while now, I've been singing the praises of VenAudio's free clip plugin, but they just updated it, and they threw in an additional 7 plugins for free. Now, the free bundle includes free clip, free comp, free convolve, which is an impulse response loader, delay, EQ, gain meter, and free tone, which is a sine wave generator. Now, free clip is just as great as it was before, but it has a new look, and free comp is a simple but very clean sounding compressor. The EQ offers 7 bands with 7 filter options, low CPU usage, and accurate filters. Now, all in all, this bundle is worth your time. So let's take a listen to it with the EQ, followed by the compressor, and then the clipper. Next up for plugin 9, we have Peak Eater by Vladislav Voinov. Now speaking of clippers, Peak Eater feels as if FabFilter made a clipper. It sounds super clean, has a simple and well-designed interface, and it has the basic functions that you need. Like Free Clip by VenAudio, we can alternate between 6 different clipping types, introduce oversampling, and, unique to this plugin, blend the dry and the clipped signal. Lastly, the button on the top right is a bypass. Out of curiosity, let's take a listen to VenAudio's Free Clip and then this plugin, but using the same settings, to see if we notice any difference. For number 10, we have Free Release by Reflex Acoustics. So when I first installed this plugin, I was almost certain that I was going to delete it. I didn't know what it was going to do. I didn't like how little control I had, and I thought that the effect was going to be something super aggressive and unpleasant. But I was absolutely wrong. The plugin imparts very subtle wave shaping and transient expansion to create a really pleasant effect. The release dial alters the length of the affected range, but to be honest, it's kind of hard to hear much of a difference. To the top left, we have the LUFS of our input and output, and there's a graphic in the middle that I don't understand what it means, but this effect works perfectly on an instrument bus or even a mix bus. Let's take a listen to it. Number 11 is TDR Prism by Tokyo Dawn Labs. If you like free plugins, you've probably come across Tokyo Dawn Labs. Prism is their newest free plugin, and normally I wouldn't be too excited about an analyzer, but this one is definitely useful. You can monitor up to 4 different images of the input and or sidechain signal, and you could check out the stereo images frequency response, just the left or the right channel, or the mid or the side channel. Auditory masking lets you see where there's some aggressive overlap, and the human option smooths the signal to better reflect how we perceive loudness. Lastly, you can choose between RMS or peak monitoring and vary the measurement from instance to instance. Now, if you want to know more about this plugin, Dan Worrall just made a great video that showcases all of its features. For number 12, we have Tens Jr. by Klanghelm. So Klanghelm is another name that you might recognize. They've made some celebrated free plugins over the years, and they just released this new free reverb plugin. The reverb's decay ranges from half a second to an impressive 20 seconds. Pre-delay and modulation are included, and you can shape the frequency response of the reflections with the slider at the bottom of the plugin. Now personally, I wish that they had included a output gain dial, since the reverb seems to attenuate the source's level, but that's not really that big of an issue. More importantly, the reverb sounds complex and full, and it lacks that unpleasant metallic sound that you often get from algorithmic reverbs. Let's take a listen to it on an instrument bus. Number 13 is G-Hertz Loudness by GoodHertz. So GoodHertz makes great sounding and creative plugins, so it's nice to see them release something for free. This plugin is a combination of metering and normalization, and I can honestly say that it's the best free metering plugin available, even better than Uleans. Now, not only can you measure the momentary, the short term, and the integrated LUFS, you could set target levels for the peak, the true peak, LUFS, and RMS, and have the plugin apply the gain that's needed to reach those levels. Now, even more interesting is that this gain can be adjusted by the plugin like a gain rider, with the timings controllable within the options window. Under Summary, you could see all of the metrics neatly organized, and under Channel, you could measure and alter the stereo image, monitor individual aspects of each channel, and more. Lastly, there's a manual that's easily accessible from the bar at the bottom, as well as various languages, which I think is a nice touch that I'd like to see more developers include. For number 14, we have Neural Note by Dr. Audio. So this one is my favorite on the list, and for what it's worth, I think it's amazing that this plugin is for free. You could either click record and play a track, or you could load in some audio, and the plugin will quickly convert it into MIDI data. Under transcription, how sensitive the plugin is to note changes, the starts and the stops of the notes, and the minimum duration of notes can be altered both before and after the audio has been processed. Amazingly, it even measures the pitch bend and can track this info as well as map it onto the MIDI. The notes could be snapped to a specific key and in the octave that you want, and can even be quantized with automatic BPM detection. Now, whenever you're done adjusting it, simply drag and drop the MIDI file into your DAW and select the instrument that you want to use for playback. Now, arguably, this plugin is less for mixing and more for producing, but I wanted to include it since it's such an impressive and handy tool. Now, I'm going to use this on a vocal, create multiple layers, and then select some different instruments for the playback. Let's take a listen and notice how quickly this plugin lets you introduce some creative processing to your mix.
She's down on her luck, but I think it's enough. She's down on her luck, but I think it's enough.
Last up for this video, we have EFX Refract by Arturia. So I included this plugin in the last video I did on free vocal effects, but the more that I use it, the more I enjoy it on multiple sources. It introduces modulation and can create up to 8 voices, which can then be fed into a bandpass filter, a comb filter, digital distortion, analog emulation distortion with 4 different algorithms, or a harmonizer with selectable notes. The amount of the effect is modulated with an LFO at the bottom, which could then be synced to the BPM, and we also get a lot of useful presets to help us get a grasp of what the plugin can do. Let's take a listen and notice how the plugin can create both drastic and creative, as well as subtle and practical effects. As audio engineers, we want to fulfill our creative potential. We want to know how to achieve a sound quickly and efficiently without having to second-guess ourselves or endlessly revise a production, mix, or master. Having mastered thousands of tracks over the past 20-plus years, we know how important it is to put your best foot forward as an engineer or an artist, but what's even more important is having the resources and the knowledge to create your best work. Now that's why we created the Sage Audio Membership, a collective space where you could have your tracks mastered, engage with a thriving community, and learn the skills you need to take your project from start to finish and be happy with the final result. Now, a membership like this is nothing without a strong community. That's why we're giving 10 free masters to every new member. Our goal is to have as many engineers as possible, sharing their ideas, providing feedback on each other's mixes and masters, and helping to build a place where anyone can learn. To give our members a great foundation for successful projects, we created a 4-hour-long mastering course, starting with fundamentals and ending with mastering chains for specific genres. So far, we've seen and heard great results, with both new engineers and seasoned ones noticing a huge improvement in their mastering. Now, a mixing course will be released next, with more in-depth courses to follow. Now, in the past, you probably shared your mixes and your masters with some friends and fellow musicians, while piecing together often conflicting info from across the internet to try and improve your productions. But with this membership, you have the option to receive feedback on your mixes and your masters from multiple engineers, including Sage Audio engineers. At the same time, you could learn from a coherent, logical, and to-the-point source, giving you the tools that you need to take your productions to a new level. Meanwhile, You could have us master your tracks with your 10 included free masters, as well as 5 additional mastering credits that you'll receive each month. Furthermore, you'll have access to mixed tracks for mastering practice, raw sessions for mixing practice, start to finish mixing and mastering chain templates, and plugin presets designed by us. Right now, we're offering a 70% discount for the full membership, bringing the monthly total down to $15. This price is locked in. It won't go up for as long as you're a member. So sign up today to receive your discount and 10 free masters. We're excited to see what you create, and we can't wait to help along the way.